8 Strangest Things People Have Married. Marriage is one of the oldest and most sacred traditions known to man. It's a celebration of the union of two people who intend to love and spend the rest of their lives together. But those who feel anxious about a life as a singleton forever fear not, as finding a soulmate may not be as tricky as it typically once was. Following the recent news that a woman plans to marry her duvet, weddings no longer seem to have to involve two living humans anymore. Instead, these romantics from around the world have chosen to marry anything from inanimate objects to animals. So if you can't find a date for Valentine's Day, maybe consider one of these options instead. Young woman getting married to her Tetris video game. A high-flying maths student has revealed that she plans to marry her Tetris video game. Noral Majabin Hassan identifies as an objectum sexual, which means she is attracted to objects. She said she's been in a relationship with a calculator she named Pierre and admits she has also felt attracted to monorails, iPods and a GPS system. The 20-year-old, who likes to be known as Fractal Tetris Huracan, surrounds herself with Tetris-shaped objects in her room. She said she now plans to marry the game when she graduates from the University of Florida in 2 years. The maths student, from Orlando, Florida, has even penned love songs about her feelings for Pierre and Tetris. Noral started a relationship with the puzzle game in September 2016 and sometimes spends up to 12 hours a day playing it on websites, her phone and her Game Boy. She claims she sleeps with and enjoys a physical relationship with Tetris-themed objects including Tetris hard drives and cushions. As a youngster, she never developed crushes on humans, it was always on robots or objects. She received abusive comments with people saying she is not normal, and referring to her as an autistic freak, or saying she has Asperger's, but Noral claims they are bigoted. She claims her family do not understand her relationships, but she has had a lot of support from the online community who do not challenge her when she says she loves Tetris more than them. Noral said, "I am not doing anyone or anything any harm. What is the issue? They think it's weird, but I ask them to give me one good reason why I shouldn't date Tetris and they can't." Woman marrying her duvet. A woman is planning to marry her duvet as she claims it's the most intimate and reliable relationship she's ever had. Pascal Selick, 49, is organizing a lavish ceremony with the help of a wedding planner to celebrate her love for the bedding. The artist, who describes herself as a rude, crude, spectacular exhibitionist, issued an open invitation to anyone wishing to celebrate with her. Pascal will be wearing a nightgown, dressing gown and slippers for the big day, but she's keeping her husband-to-be's outfit a surprise. The ceremony will be held on February 10 at Rougemont Gardens in Exeter, Devon, followed by a free wedding party at the Glorious Art House in 4th Street. Guests have been asked to wear dressing gowns, pajamas, onesies, and slippers with the option of also bringing cuddly teddies or hot water bottles if it's cold. To help make the wedding the best day of her life, Pascal has recruited Anna Fitzgerald, of Woohoo Art Events, as her wedding planner. She said, "This is the most out there art happening to date. I'm really pleased to be involved. Valentine's Day can be depressing for lots of people, so hopefully this will lift people's spirits. It would be wonderful if folks could shake off their English reserve and rock up in their sleepwear for a bit of lighthearted frivolity." Woman who married ghost of 300-year-old pirate, Amanda Large-Teague was meditating the first time she says she met the ghost of a 300-year-old Haitian pirate. She thought he was rude to interrupt her solitude, so she told him to leave. Then he showed up again. The third time he visited, Ms. Teague, of Northern Ireland, said she decided to talk with him. After she communicated with the ghost for several months, Ms. Teague said, she became convinced that he was Jack Teague, who she later claimed had inspired the character of Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Ms. Teague's beliefs, which fall under the umbrella of New Age spirituality, test the boundaries of what types of faith people in Western cultures are willing to accept. Though experts say Ms. Teague's story is an outlier and not representative of most New Age spirituality, the range of beliefs, which includes reincarnation and astrology, is more common among Americans than it may seem. Ms. Teague told The Washington Post that she started exploring spirituality after her 3-month-old son, Thomas, died of sudden infant death syndrome in 2010. She considered herself agnostic until then, but afterward felt compelled to figure out her beliefs. Her journey of spiritual discovery led her, she said, to marry Jack in July 2016 on a boat on the Atlantic Ocean in a ceremony officiated by a self-described shaman. She then added Teague to her last name. Since Ms. Teague went public in January 2018 with her marriage to Jack, and later, their separation, international news outlets have expressed bewilderment at her choice of spouse. Wife of ghost pirate bears her soul over breakup, blared Scottish newspaper The National. Love is dead. Woman divorces 300-year-old pirate ghost husband, pronounced Orlando television station WKMG. In May, the Daily Mirror publicized the deposition Ms. Teague said she had needed to get rid of Jack. Ms. Teague said she and Jack also had a pagan, hand-fasting, wedding ceremony in which two witches, practitioners of Wicca, wrapped cords around the couple's joined hands to symbolize the binding of the pair. Most of Ms. Teague's friends at the time were part of the same spiritual circles as she was, so she said they immediately supported her relationship with Jack, as did her 4 living children from a previous marriage. Ms. Teague's parents had more questions about their daughter's relationship. Her mother eventually came to the shamanic wedding, but not to the handfasting. Her father, Ms. Teague said, came to neither. Ms. Teague memorialized her relationship in a 2017 book titled A Life You Will Remember. In that version of the story, she encounters Jack Sparrow sleeping in Belfast's Victoria Square, transported from the past. Paganism is non-creedal and does not require adherents to conform to certain beliefs, said Holly Emery, executive director of the online Cherry Hill Seminary, which teaches about pagan and nature-based spiritualities. Pagans are bound primarily by a belief in interconnectedness and the sense that all life is a part of what is holy, Ms. Emery said. She said Ms. Teague's pagan outlook may have opened her to the belief that spirits exist and that she can have relationships with them. Woman marry herself in growing, sologomy, trend. An Italian woman has become the first in her country to marry herself as part of a new self-love trend that is taking over the Western world. In a full-on 8,700 pounds wedding ceremony that featured the usual white dress, 3-layer wedding cake, bridesmaids and 70 guests, Laura Messi said, yes, to the most important person in her life, herself. The 40-year-old fitness trainer came up with the idea of a solo wedding 2 years ago after a long-term relationship came to an end. I told friends and family that if I had not found my soulmate by my 40th birthday I would marry myself, she told La Repubblica. I firmly believe that each of us must first of all love ourselves. You can have a fairy tale even without the prince. As the ceremony isn't legally binding, Laura hasn't ruled out getting hitched in a proper wedding ceremony. If one day I find a man with whom I can plan a future, I'll be happy, but my happiness does not depend on him, she said. The practice of marrying yourself has been named sologomy around the world. Solo brides and grooms say it's about self-love and acceptance and saying no to the traditional ways of the world. Laura is far from the first person to engage in the practice. Reports of people marrying themselves go as far back as 1993. In May last year, 37-year-old British woman Sophie Tanner wed herself after 20 years of being unsuccessful in the love department. She went the whole hog, enlisting 10 of her friends to be bridesmaids and even asking her father to give her away. Telling the Daily Mail she wanted to celebrate being single rather than being ashamed of it, Sophie said the ceremony was a statement about the fact there is still a stigma around being single, especially in your 30s. Specific agencies for pro-sologamists have even been set up, with one travel agency in Japan offering the full solo wedding package for £2,500. The whole 2-day thing includes a wedding gown, bouquet, limo, hotel stay and the obligatory photo album. Naturally, people who marry themselves are faced with a lot of negativity. Laura has had tons of critical comments on her solo wedding photos but says, nothing and no one can turn off my smile. Dismayed by men, 47-year-old UK woman marries pet dog. Such things were usually known to happen back home in India, where toads were married to appease the rain gods, or helpless young girls are married to trees or sundry animals to ward off any evil that might affect their future husbands. But this is a case with a difference. A woman, Amanda Rogers, a 47-year-old British divorcee, has married her loyal pet terrier called Sheba. The marriage reportedly took place in August 2012. Amanda married Sheba in front of 200 people in Split, Croatia. Sheba had been in my life for years, making me laugh and comforting me when I was feeling low. I couldn't think of anything more I'd need from a life partner, she said. Amanda had a brief marriage about 20 years ago which ended within a few months. This time Amanda wanted things to be just right, so, in her own words, I got down on one knee and proposed. I could tell by her tail wagging that she said, yes. But is her marriage to Sheba legal? I know the wedding to Sheba wasn't real in the legal sense. But it was a nice way to mark what Sheba means to me. Sheba's never unkind to me and she's always happy. Japanese man takes video game character as wife. A Japanese man has married a character in a popular video game, taking her, and his handheld game console, on an overseas honeymoon. The man, who prefers to use his online moniker Sal9000, met character Nene in Nagasaki while playing dating simulation game, Love Plus. They got married a few weeks ago, broadcasting their ceremony live on Japan's version of video sharing website YouTube. Sal9000, who did not want to reveal his real name for fear of being misunderstood, admits to be an otaku, a breed of Japanese youth obsessed with video games, computers and fantasy worlds. In the Japanese otaku or nerd culture, there's a tradition of calling characters my wife, and I sort of thought of Nene as my wife. Since I was calling her that, I thought we'd just have to get married then, he told Reuters Television. If more people were to find ways of expressing themselves like this, I think it would make society a bit more interesting. The newlyweds, who went on a honeymoon to Guam, now go on dates around Tokyo, with Sal9000 taking pictures of Nene, installed in his Nintendo DS, in front of famous landmarks and then posting them on social networking sites. As the game, Love Plus, has voice recognition software, Sal9000 says it's possible to have a sort of conversation with Nene or even play simple games such as rock, paper, scissors. He also has vowed to have and to hold, for better and for worse, even if another, updated version of the game is released. I think I'll probably continue playing Love Plus. I won't cheat, Sal9000 said. Amanda Liberty Mary Chandelier. Amanda Liberty from Leeds has filled her home with 25 hanging lamps after spending hundreds of pounds on some of her favorites. The 33-year-old has embarked on an open relationship with the chandeliers and is engaged to a 28 inches wide light called Lumiere after buying it on eBay. She says it was love at first sight and, after spending £400 on the antique from Germany, Lumiere is regularly showered with cuddles and kisses. But she prefers to spend her nights cuddled up to Jewel, a portable chandelier that she happily tucks into bed with her. Amanda identifies herself as objectum-sexual, which means that she is attracted to objects, and first fell in love with a drum kit at 14 and later the Statue of Liberty before changing her surname. Happy New Year to all! Thank you for watching.